The Steelers have won 4 straight. You talked about it. James Conner's been balling, and Cam and the Panthers come to town. They've won 3 straight. Stephen A., I'll start with you. Which team's a bigger threat to make the Super Bowl? Panthers or Steelers?
I think it's the Steelers. And the reason why I think it's the Steelers is because the New England Patriots are who they are. I get all of that. But and they should be the favorites. But outside of that, as formidable as Kansas City is offensively, their defense is suspect. Houston, we don't know about them. We like Jadeveon and J.J. Watt. We love the fact that Demaryius Thomas as partner with DeAndre Hopkins. We see Deshaun Watson coming on strong, but we don't know about them. When you look at Baltimore, the Steelers handled them. Don't get me started with Cincinnati. So I think the road to prosperity is easier paved for the Steelers through the AFC. Regardless of what we're seeing from Cam and the Carolina Panthers, and it is impressive, with Funches, with Olsen, with Christian McCaffrey, that's changed the complexion of that team to some degree, with Norv Turner as your offensive coordinator, leading Cam Newton. The bottom line is you got Atlanta, you got New Orleans, you got L.A., you got Philadelphia, you got the NFC North. For all we know, Aaron Rodgers might escape out of that division, all right? Or Khalil Mack might come back and be as strong as he was before he got injured. So the road to prosperity is difficult, far more difficult as far as I'm concerned, in the NFC than it is for the AFC, and that's why I would say the Steelers.
Yeah, Saints and Rams with
The answer is actually the Panthers. Because, by the way, in both conferences, you have teams that you think are better than the Panthers and better than the Steelers. You have, as usual, the Patriots. They have a better coach, better quarterback, and you'd favor them over the Steelers. You have the Chiefs the way they're looking, and I really like the Chargers, especially when Bosa gets back. And, of course, in the NFC, we all know what it is. It's the Rams, it's the Saints, and maybe a team like the Vikings on any given Sunday, right? Okay. The difference here to me is Norv Turner. Right now that Shanahan's a head coach and Norv Turner's now an OC again, he might be the best OC in football. I mean, you could make the argument. He's scheming guys open. He's getting guys to the perimeter. He's using McCaffrey in creative ways. He's got Cam's completion percentage. Stephen A., you pointed it out yesterday, higher than it's ever been. I mean, Turner has this offense clicking. And if you have an elite offense in Carolina, they always have a good defense, and you have a kind of one-man army in Cam Newton, I'll tell you what, they got a chance against anybody. I think between these two teams, it's a tough question. If I have to say who's more likely to get to the Super Bowl based on what I've seen so far, I say Cam Newton, Norv Turner, and the Panthers.
Well, it's tough because you almost have to get somewhat the luck of seeding here with both of these teams, because if the Pittsburgh Steelers have to go into Gillette, I don't know if that's going to happen. Based on what I've experienced and based on what I've seen in the past in terms of their history of going into Gillette, having problems, not being able to win there. And then Carolina, I mean, having the problems that they had with New Orleans last year, that would be difficult with them, but they have a little more familiarity in terms of playing the Saints. Can Carolina, with, I think, one of the best offensive lines in football, counteract the high-powered offenses of the Rams or of the Saints? And I think that's possible. I would go with Carolina because of Cam Newton and all the things that he can does, and sort of going on the road and having that mentality, which I've seen them do. I would take the Panthers to have a better chance.